love this audio, guy. Whoever made it was a good human. You're on mute.
Yes, sorry. Hey guys, GM, we have a very special guest from Devfolio here. And it's so special to have somebody from Devfolio, right? Like all Indian builders know the worth of Devfolio, right? Like they do all sort of hackathons throughout India. And like all of these are like really high stake hackathons, and you participate and you can speak about them in any sort of interview or any sort of place and build some cool shit and get some funding even, right? Like people go from hackathon to funding. That's why we have Ashwin here, and we are going to have something special coming up with Idea Town. So he's going to introduce what the role is here, and let's get him on live. Yeah.
Hey, thank you. Thanks for the warm introduction, Bhavya. Quick check. You all can hear me in the
Yes.
audience. You all can hear me, hopefully. Perfect. Hi, everyone. My name is Ashwin Kumar Uppala. I lead the community at Devfolio. And I think we are so glad to support Idea Town and just wanted to amplify that with all the builders that reach out to us. Uh, Idea Town is very special, because at Devfolio, we have been running a based fellowship, on-chain summer, so many things for the builders. And on the other hand, we recently started a new initiative to help the organizers, Organizer 101. And there's a core group of audience that is remaining here that we wanted to also highlight the ideas. When I was a hacker in hackathons, something that I personally valued a lot is what am I working on. It's fun to build with Next.js. It's very fun to mess with Kubernetes. It's super fun to containerize your application, or it's also fun to demo your application. But it all made worth it when I believed in the idea, right? So a lot of builders that reach out to us on Devfolio ask, "Hey, how do I start?" And the common answer is like, go participate in a hackathon. Valid, you go participate in base fellowship. Very valid, but it's very easy to ignore the ideas. So I'm so glad that Bhavya today is going to run you through the show how he takes your ideas, curates, go through the pool of ideas, and how to what's the right way to think. It's a very interesting problem to solve as a builder. So super glad to support you all. And if a hacker comes to me and says, "Hey Ashwin, where do I start?" I would say, "Here, join this live stream, share your ideas with Bhavya, and he will tell you how you get from 0 to 1." That's the problem today, 0 to 1. We are not worried about 1 to 100.
Nice. I think that's the perfect way to put it because I've seen myself also struggle at times with some ideas. Now, because I've done some fair amount of hackathons and been in the space, I realize that there is a lot of potential, right? And there is two worlds, like an on-chain world, AI world, and a lot of these applications are also coming in and playing a good part here. And we have been running this town that has all of these ideas. On the right of the screen, you can see like a QR is there. Scan it, submit your ideas. I will review them next week, and there is a chance to feature you on live with me, going over your idea with potential and taking you to places like Base Fellowship, for example, and other sort of hackathons that come into the place, right? So let's start over, and I'll share my screen and we'll go over some of how we curate these ideas. So this is FigJam. I've been placing the ideas here into three sort of buckets, which will help you realize that how some ideas are meant to be taking you from, like having some followers to, being a viral builder in the space. Because that's really important because if you ship something quick on Farcaster, it gets you the eyes quickly and then you can build products out of that or get connected to like companies who want mini apps to be built, right? So these three buckets here, one is like massive potential. By most of them, if you go over here, it will be some of them which have like games, right? Because games on mini apps and in general have become really popular. And if you have some on-chain element where people participate in sort of like prediction markets and get some incentive out of it, it helps them to boost up and get this idea wild. So that's the massive potential bucket here. I'll go over them and summarize what we have gone through till this 2 weeks that we have run it. The other is this will definitely go wild. It's the viral bucket, right? Like some of these things, like if you see which Pokemon character are you or which Harry Potter character are you, some of these things have been shipped on Farcaster, and a lot of these things instantly get you the eyes because they run you back into memories and the interface is really easy to use. And on top of that, people keep reposting the same thing because they want to post as some favorite Pokemon that they got, and people will participate. You will get users really quickly, and this will make you go viral. People will start following you and you will get some opportunities. The last bucket is something which is like this will be a good business because some of these things have potential to change lives, and while you build them you have to realize that there is a lot of value in building them. And while I bucket this, I felt some of these ideas that we kept talking about, like dollar cost averaging, is also from a fellow in base fellowship 2.0 with me, and that has real massive potential. So what we did is we went over and broke it down into modular steps of how he built it out, where you can see it starts with, so every sort of idea starts with a pain point of how a single idea came into life, right? So we go over some pain points and then we break it down into technical details of how you can build such applications. So this is the last bucket. Again, here, these are my opinions about how things will work. All of these can also be good businesses. Any of the good businesses can also be viral, but it's just for you to get started and build some products out, right? So with that said, I want you guys to, whoever's watching, and if you guys have ideas, please submit them on the QR. Why we are also doing this is because another hackathon which is really famous is going on live Devfolio right now, which is on Chain Summer Awards. It runs till September 2, and you have to build mini apps. It is pretty simple, and there are like crazy awards for it while you build it. So these are the categories like live mini apps, live consumer apps, which you have built before. You can also submit them showing some on-chain activity. And then you can build some new mini apps and build like new consumer apps. So this is why I want you guys to also take these ideas, maybe have your ideas curated here and build, because if you see the product projects count here, they are like massive. People are building. Some of these are going to get viral. So we'll go over this as well in detail and see how people made these apps and how you can build something similar and get inspiration out of it. So let's start with something. And I have two ideas here that I want to go over before we begin going over some other ideas that have been submitted on Devfolio. The first idea is co-write a story, and this is gonna be popular right now. It's because of Zora getting full, like getting the eyes now and getting people onboarded really quickly to the platform. That is why, what is this idea? It is pretty simple. It is gonna be something which I put in the this will go wild category. Okay. So why do I think that? It's because how this comes into picture is everything sort of becomes a coin on Zora, right? Like what we can do is have people come into a platform and each person gets one line to add to a story. And that story is something which AI starts, right? So we'll break it down now, and maybe you guys can jump into the comments and give your suggestions on how this works, right? So firstly, like the pain points here, more like why build, right? This is why, this is where I feel you guys should start with your ideas. And why do you want to build this? So first is market validation. How do you get this? You get this by seeing that Zora has massive potential, right? Like right now, a lot of coins, creator coins are coming in, massive potential on Zora to build something like this. How does this come into picture is you want to market validate that your idea has some backing through the market. So that's the first step I feel that you guys should take over in general of any idea. The next one is going to be viral opportunity, right? Like for this particular game, which is like a game, right? You want to go quickly from say 0 to 1,000 users, and a game which goes from 0 to 1,000 users is gonna be popular for sure, right? Because it gets viral. So any sort of game that you want to build, you want to have that viral ability in that particular idea, and I feel that this idea has like a viral opportunity to build on. So that's the two main things, and the other one would obviously be AI plus on-chain uh, world, right? Like this sort of like AI is in the boom, and with on-chain also like having a lot of potential. Mixing the two worlds adds to like creativity, adds to better UI UX and things like that. So that's the reason why you want to build something like this, and why I consider this to be like a go viral opportunity. So the game is pretty simple. Now let's go over how the UI UX would be, right? So how I wanted this to be played out was like AI starts each day with a topic slash a line that is interesting to write a story about. Okay. So let's say everyone sort of how, okay. For here, why I feel AI would want to start here is because it becomes like a starting point for users, right? And the other thing is this also becomes brings people that are writers, are creative, etc. to participate, right? Like we see a lot of yeah. We see a lot of people come in to these platforms and want to play a part here, and some of these people have some other hobbies, right, like readings for example, and they want to write a good story. So this is why how the UI UX will play is like, for example, say any AI has 5 topics per day, right? And maximum 100 lines story is needed. Okay. So this is why you would have 5 topics per day, 100 lines story is needed to be generated with like human plus AI intervention. And in the end, what we will do is coin it as images, basically images on Zora. And these will be AI generated based on the story, right? So this becomes sort of like a comic book type of um, play here, right? So this is where how I was thinking here is, for example, you start with these 5 topics on like a UI interface, and people can participate using basic Farcaster wallet, come into the platform, and participate in any of the 5 topics, right? And each person has a goal of adding to one line of the story. So for example, say person A wrote something, right? So what AI will do, AI will come in and write something to relate to the story. Okay. Based on what person A writes, AI can choose to relate to the story or edit some tweaks, right? Edit some tweaks to it. Then person B can come in, write their thing. And this then becomes like a massive like story up to some words, right? Right. And now you get the picture, right? So as soon as some story is formed, AI slash person, any sort of people that participated can generate images, okay, for the story. And so, for example, for a like 100-line story, we generate 5 images. They are like comic style sort of images, right? On any sort of AI model generates this, and that tells the story. Now people who like the story purchase it, and the coin booms and things like that. And so, for example, you launch a coin for the story, and the images are basically going to be related to the story and how this things comes into picture. Like, of course, this has some cost to build. Like, mostly it will be the AI costs to cover, but they won't be massive, right? Like, I guess you can start with like $15 of credits from somewhere, right? And if you have like AWS credits, then you can use that to power AI basically. Like, there are ways to do that, and so basically it can be built in like no cost as well. So this is the whole sort of play here. Each day, 5 topics are generated by AI. Users come in and participate in topics, write lines. AI curates the content, builds story, creates a coin for that story, and also makes images that are in comic style for the story, and like launches it on Zora, like coin it basically. So that's about it. Really simple, basic UI flow. And it gets you from, like, say, if this goes viral, and people start participating here, and gets you the users, it will go viral, and there can be a lot of things that can be used by this, and it's a fun experiment to play out. And because we are again going back to saying, like, because Zora has potential, market is validated, you can get users and build this out, right? So that is the first idea here. And the whole point here was, you build something cool for like a mini app version and see what it leads you. And I feel just building this out, you will learn a lot of things, and eventually can go get your first users that are on chain, right? So another simple and even, like, similar sort of grounds here, but it's not gonna be something which is having a lot of AI usage, but it is going to be something where it can be built out for hackathons where you want to find collaborators, or like companies finding, say, contractors to work on. So it's an on-chain collab board, right? And how this comes into play is pretty simple. There are so many events that keep happening, whether it's going to be any hackathon that comes into play, ETH India is there, things like that. There are people who participate solo and go and at the venue and try to find people, and that is challenging problem in general to solve, because how do you get like-minded people? How do you get somebody who you want to work with, whose topic is something you like, and you want to participate somewhere that you would have fun as well. So this on-chain collab board is like a mini app where people come in and pitch their ideas, and about like content, about projects that they want to build, about, say, any sort of design work that they're doing. It could be anything that they have these ideas, and they want to find collaborators who want to participate there, right? This is the main point. So going back, again, we'll break it down into the same sort of um, theory, right? Like, what is the pain point here? So the pain point that we are going off is, one, which is finding users to, not finding users, but I would say finding collaborators to work on together on a like-minded thing is tough, right? So that's the main thing. Second is are global. So connectivity is an issue if not made, right? Like basically, what I mean by this is there are so many people who participate in this international hackathons that keep happening. Opportunities are obviously going to be global, right? Like you can find somebody who's like-minded, who you want to work with on a particular topic, who's sitting somewhere you don't know, you don't want to, you can't introduce yourself to them. And the only way you can meet in theory is somewhere where you go to the same hackathon, participate, and you both are there and you somehow meet and you build the product, right? But for this, for example, opportunities in general, because they are global, you can build the connectivity which is on chain without the worry of credibility, because you can back it up by some data. So that's the second pain point to maybe build something like this, because it is damn tough to find these people. So how does this work, right? So these two pain points, let's put them together. And now let's go over like the flow of the, right? Two things pretty, that's the theory that we follow. Basically, you break down an idea into pain point and what flow would be a good flow to have for a particular group of users. Here, so how I thought of this is person A comes in with an idea to work on, right? Pick it from this board, pick it from anywhere, and request some category of, say, category of help. Okay, this could be dev, design, business, marketing, etc. Right? Like some category of help that they need, right? This is the flow basically. Like we need one person to come into the platform with an idea, and they request like what they are looking for, right? And when this happens, so when person A launches this as an idea, AI will sort of rate it based on users' credibility and credibility. AI will sort the rate it based on users' credibility and the potential of the idea, right? Like I think a very famous potential checking tool that has been made was by Devfolio, where Jesse GPT would rate a particular idea. So basically, it could be something where you integrate that or build your own version out of it. So when a person A launches this as an idea, AI has to rate it on users' credibility, right? Like you want anybody participating to also be a valid entry and have like backing of what they are claiming to be, right? So you want to have some user credibility check, whether it's through like GitHub or Figma alternatives, like whatever that adds the credibility of a particular person based on the work that they have done before. Maybe connect Devfolio and see how many hackathon wins they have done and things like that. And this will have the AI piece, right? This is basically the AI piece of what will happen. Also, it will summarize what the user wants, right? Like, for example, front end help, okay? Like to build on it. And this is about it. Now, this app has taken a person on chain, or not on chain yet, right? But it has taken somebody and told them to participate with an idea and request what help they need, how many people they want to work with, and stuff. And AI has come in, also rated the user, also rated the potential of the idea, and also summarized what the user wants. So, what we'll do is, by the way, this is also the on-chain aspect, right? Like on-chain aspect, like building user credibility somehow and giving them a score. Now, the next part starts is you display all ideas on a board, in the mini app. Okay, you display them in some ways which like the UI UX fits in, like a table or sort, like a simple table, for example, with filters on topics, tags, etc. So that's about how users can find it. Now person B will come in, look for something to build, help, right? Like this is the general idea of how the person B comes in. AI here, AI also helps to rate which is a good match, right? And this is very important here because you can basically see that when we display these ideas, we'll who is logged in, right? So the user logged in. Yeah. So see this, right? While you display the ideas, just curating it better. While you display the ideas, person B has to come in and look at this stream and look at these ideas. When they look at it, they will realize what is the score of how much you can help them, right? So a good match would be, say, for example, 75% plus. How would this come in? Is because we also verify person B credibility, right? Ah, so now basic flow is there, and once this is done, users when they come into the platform, they can see what's a good match and how they can participate. They should also be able to send applications to the person who put it, who added the idea, right? Okay. Now this is pretty simple, right? Like for now, just covering the onboarding here because that's the most important part, right? So user onboarding. There are some tools like use some tools that rate some people on dev work, design work, slash, like rating something, or you can build it out, like build it out. Make them, how do you do this? Make them connect GitHub, etc., and build an on-chain verifiable reputation. How can you do this? There are attestations that you can run. Attestations, not attentions. Stations. I'll just show this quickly, but there are these attestations that you can run, and they can attest to something. For example, say I am good at front end. Okay, I link my work. Users will check that and verify, and that needs to be on chain. Okay, so pretty simple. There are some tools that will rate people, so they have solved for it. Find those tools. There will be people who have solved for on-chain credibility and stuff. Make them connect, or you can build it out how you want it, and do it through attestations which are on-chain. So there is no way people can check. Sorry, there is no way people can sort of change it and fake things because they have been attested and they can't be changed. This is sort of the basic user flow of user onboarding. And store it, I mean, you'll have to store it and things like that, which I'm not covering of the tech parts, but you get the idea of how you would store this and help this to be built out. And now this is where we covered suggest best matches, summarize pitches for like people coming in, And this can also come into here, where this is like a future scope. After you build this out, get some users onboarded and stuff, like think about crowdfunding apps, but users can find people to build with, and the AI ranking is helpful, right? This is how I feel about, say, when this person had this idea, they just wanted to build it for an hackathon. Like this form here, for example, right on the right, top right of the screen, that could be something which just curates the ideas, right? It puts them in the form. You are building the front end of the thing, basically. You are getting people to add those ideas, get people matched to them, find each other to build things together. And then this could just be converted into a crowdfunding app where the best performing rated sort of application that got users and won some hackathons, has some credibility, can be put in a category directly using the filters where people can crowdfund these applications. So you are getting on-chain reputation, you are getting on-chain rewards for it as well, right? This is the main idea of this application, and something which solves finding collaborators, opportunities are global, and you get your first sort of grant from some people if they like your idea. So this is how this idea can come into picture. And most likely, now let's categorize these on how I feel this would play out, right? Co-write a story, like I said, should come in this will go wide category. So let's put them here. Okay. Yeah. Let's put co-writer story here. And why would this go like simple? We covered that. Zora is there, massive potential. Mini apps are there, massive potential. So write like co-write a story, coiner, right? Simple but valuable thing that you can build. And um, eventually people can chime in, get you some funds. It can be a business, depends on how things go. Same for the on-chain collab board. This, according to me, has massive potential because for one reason. Wait a minute. Like, yeah, let's cover that here. So on-chain collab, right? Why I feel this can turn out to be a business as well, but it is tough to eventually start off, get some funds out of this, because you need the reputation, you need people participating here, and eventually you can move in and get something out of it. So that's about it. And these are the two ideas that we have put here. For the new audience, let's go over some massive potential ideas that we have curated. And then we'll be going over this on-chain summer awards board and picking some random topic and seeing how they came into life and how we would put them and etc. Right? So let's start with how we have curated stuff. So first idea which I feel has been put in massive potential is anon inbox for creators to answer questions from followers. Basic simple flow. Lot of creators are coming in. Creator coins are coming in. How this comes in is, say for example, you have a very friendly or very, say, a popular creator you follow. You want to send them your questions, but you cannot do that unless you buy their creator coins. And that comes into a play where users, the creators of these creator coins, can start this inboxes where they accept people who want to participate using their creator coins, right? So this becomes, like sort of the premium service mode where you can connect with your audience and stuff. And that is about how this would be played on. And it, again, massive potential, just because creator coins are coming in. Creators want to connect to their followers, followers would want to ask something to their creators. goes both ways. No central parties involved. Everything can be coordinated using the creator coin, and just the creator gets paid out of it. And creator can then also again tip, like the best best question that they got, or meet their fan, or things like that. Next one is a car scheduler. Farcaster becoming popular means that people would want to run these campaigns on Farcaster where they have some curated content and they want to participate and send them at particular times of the day where Farcaster has more audience that is online and stuff. Very simple with AI personalizing cast where people, when required, don't know what to type out, AI can find something based on like popular feeds through Nanar APIs and suggest you what you can type in. That's that. The other one is a fitness app where on chain, what do you call it? When you are on chain, you can run these things without a middleman, right? And people can participate by staking some money and committing to a goal. Every time there is some problem here about verification you have to solve, but if you can solve verification of if a user goes to the gym, reads a book and stuff, then this becomes massive where people stake in with their friends of say 5 to 10 people in a group of going running. Every time somebody doesn't do it, it deducts some stake money out of it and it disperse, like the others get it. It's that simple. These are some, you can again check them out directly coming to the fig jam. We went over which Pokemon character are you, which is the Go Wild category, which Harry Potter character are you. Find who is your best friend on Farcaster is again those social circles where you can see who interacts with each other and build like a social graph of people connecting together. But you can also do where somebody is not connected to each other. You can build this out and make a person find a stranger who could be your best friend. So that's something which I feel could go wild. Like you don't follow anyone, for example, and based on your thoughts and something, you both are sort of writing the same thing, curating the same content, being in the same space. This particular app can make you find the connection. What else? Co-write a story, we went about it, and swiping on some gossips, right? This is very interesting. A lot of these things actually on Twitter come into play, right? Like people send anything about any sort of truth or some any sort of gossip there, and Grok sort of says this is false and things like that. Here you could share something and people can participate and think that maybe this is real, maybe it's not, and just have some sort of prediction market going in if that is there, which is there. And again, we went, okay. Again, the good business categories where you can get funding, you can get people easily onboarded. One of this is future prediction markets with AI settling the results. This one is very interesting because, again, the pain points are prediction markets are gonna go crazy. Like it's not pain point, but it's like market validation. And uh, say you are predicting future things, you are not predicting something which is going to happen say in like 30 days and it will be a short thing. You're predicting for the future of like 4 years, 5 years, and we will settle it on basis of what AI thinks the future is. And so we are also curating content on how AI thinks, and you can run this against multiple AI agents, see which one thinks what the future will turn out to be and stuff. And it could be something which goes down like as history, and people see it like, oh wow, something was predicted from this, there is an on-chain attestation to it. And like nine, say for example, you are on the side of by 2030 there will be no cars that are driven by people, okay? And you are on the side of yes, like cars will be fully automated, there won't be any need of people driving cars. this then AI can decide on saying that there will be a need, there won't be a need, and this creates an audience of people what they thought about how 2030 is going to look like. AI settles it right now in say 1 day, 2 days, and in 2030 you can go back, you can go and check who was on the right side of things, and it becomes a fun sort of game and a history book sort of thing to play. So that is about here. And yeah, next week we are going to go over everything on the form. So make sure you keep participating there. Now let's go over some random, I think, some random, oh, football.fun, which is, I guess, football.fun is again like a prediction market, definitive sports speculation market, right? And the economics behind this problem. Okay, sense the general expectation. Okay, I think they are still editing it, but the idea here is really interesting, right? Like a definitive football speculation market. And I don't see a lot of things that are added here. Let's go over it then. Okay. Yeah. I mean, we can go over it, but I get the gist of it. And this is really fun one. Again, can be a good business, can go wild crazy because it has like a football audience to follow. But what I feel is basically, say like a match is going on, any sort of club match, or it could be FIFA World Cup finals, for example. You assemble sort of a team, and or maybe there is a career mode where you can keep buying pro, uh, player cards as some trading things, and based on how they perform their rates go up and things like that, and you can keep trading player cards with people and stuff. This is what I got gist out of it. But yeah, really cool one, and people can build on this, right? Like you can build a cricket version out of it, and I'm not sure if there is a cricket version out of it, but yeah, I don't see anything there, but you get the idea, right? Like we saw something built for football, and cricket is a massive audience, majorly mainly in India, but even in like Australia, England, and things like that. So what you would want to do for cricket is, say for example, Asia Cup is on, or the Ashes are on. You build this in a way where people participate for each test match or each sort of T20 match that is happening, maybe the IPL, and people assemble their teams. It is basically like, there are on off-chain versions of it, and they got banned and because of some rules, but you can build it on chain and build it in a way where people get points, rewards out of it. They participate in this markets, which are basically going to settle games for them, and it becomes fantasy league for them. And this could just go live on chain, right? And there are no rules maybe to stop them. Okay, what else? Just picking things at random, right? Oh, see, ponder here. I mean, I think it's predict what the world is thinking, which is really cool. Ponder is an everyday light touch high fun game that lets predict users what the world is thinking and will little money while they're at. Similar to what we went over, like futuristic goals and stuff. You can think of ponders like mini prediction markets, but for human sentiment. That's awesome. Like maybe this is for the present, where people share their opinions on some things and they settle their opinions about things in the real world. But there is a future version that we just went over in Idea Town. What else? Let's go over some random ones. Revolutioning carbon trade. This seems like a business idea, so let's go over what does it do. Seems like a fully made app. Okay, so what gist of this I have gotten, and based on one project that I have already done. is carbon trading in a particular market means that there are people in the group, say in the consumer cycle, and each product goes through a carbon emission from one, when it is like a thread, to an entire t-shirt, to somebody wearing it, to a recycling thing. It becomes a whole consumer cycle, it goes a product cycle, and there is carbon involved which actively gets traded off chain. And this is something I feel which is solving for the on chain part of it. You can trace the life cycle of a carbon credit from issuance to retirement, which is basically going to be what do you call it, recycling. Tracking is also going to be how a particular product moves, and you can trade with other companies that are on chain are doing this, right? So yeah, again, same. This could be a good business. There are some regulations that are coming in that could be validating these ideas. So that comes. Let's go back and see like why I'm also categorizing this into these things, right? So if we go over how we break down ideas, we notice that there are pain points of an idea. There is a flow that you have to build for that, right? But while you evaluate the pain point, and say if you do not have an idea, right, how can you get an idea, which is a very good thing. So let's go over how can you get an idea. Okay, right. One, I'm just gonna make it simple. Go to idea down, come to this screen, right? That's pretty much what I would want everyone to do. But how I also get ideas and how people get these sort of like ideas is find out important things in the world, read and build. So think about this, like every sort of idea that has come into play needs to be having this very critical thing of a market that needs to validate it, or it could be something which you start building and eventually a market forms, which is like there have been scenarios where good companies are built that way. If you are not finding good ideas, again, simple, this team is going to help you do that. But you need to be a very good sort of observer of the world, read and build on top of things, right? How do you do this? So go back to basics. Think about what on-chain solves, what AI solves. Okay? These two things can give you massive potential ideas. And go over regulations coming into play, right? Like some of these regulations that come into play, some rules, maybe things get banned, right? Have an on-chain world for them for sure. Like one basic thing is what Twitter banned, Firecaster can help build, right? Because it's open, right? Pretty simple. Say if some APIs were banned, you can build something for Firecaster. That's another category that you can solve. So keep reading about these things that come into play. What got, what is not possible in some scenario that was being used by a lot of people. Build versions of it on, say, Firecaster or on chain. And why this is there, because on chain solves for, you don't have to have these things into play. Of course there are some things you need to follow, but just in general sense, you can build like a verifiable reputation trusty situation here in a decentralized manner without having to worry about a lot of off chain aspects of it. So that's the whole how do you get an idea. Read through. The other thing is you have to read through newsletters, go over VC funding sites. So last time, like some days ago, there is a crypto accelerator which people should be aware about, and they have this site of startup ideas. You'll find these startup ideas across a lot of spaces, right? We have gone over some of these ideas, broken it down in idea town as well, but you will find some of these from VCs. Okay? And there is request for startups from Y Combinator, and you can read through them, get some ideas, and build something which is maybe an on-chain version of it. Build a lot of things, right? Even Antler has some things. Find these ideas, and there are some ways you can find startup ideas through. How do you find startup ideas? And you will get a sense of what the world wants and what you can build out of it. We'll keep doing these streams, going over sort of more ideas here. I want to see a lot of ideas coming from you. And if you guys have submitted here and want to get featured, as I randomly clicked here, but if you submit the form, you are going to get featured. We'll go over your idea on live stream, and we can maybe participate together, build a future scope for it, and see how you can get rewards out of it, right? So that's the idea. Keep building on chain, keep participating in these hackathons. There are so many hackathons that keep happening. Always check them out, and find inspiration from this idea town. That is going to be it for today, folks. This is the first version of Devfolio in Base Cafe Idea Town, and it was a fun one. Great to do this with Devfolio. Keep participating there, get ideas here, and yeah, you want to come on board, Ashwin here? Okay. Yes. Yeah, you are on stage, sir. Wait, are you muted?
You folks can hear me, all right?
Yeah, yeah, all good.
That was fun. That was a good one. Love the ideas. Super exciting. If you're watching, go submit your ideas. And scan that QR code on the top right of the screen, or you can just go to nsb.dev/ideas town. We'll share the link in the chat. Bhavya, if you
Yes.
can,
Yeah, I'll
let me
just do
share that
that.
to you. Yeah, go for it. So Bhavya can review your ideas for the next stream. And I think I relate to a lot of points here, but I have like one point of my own that
Yeah,
it's kind of like very different. When especially like catching up on all the tech news is so important to think something
yeah,
different and just to see like, hey, is this idea already used or not? So sometimes that also leads to a very homogeneous idea. So if everyone of us is watching the news, all of us will think the same way, right?
yeah,
And this is sort of a life hack, if you may call it, that one of my mentors gave to me. You can use it even for ideas, but also for yourself. Uh, so if you feel like a fatigue in creativity, do something completely almost opposite that your mind would not like even think about. So, you know, uh, maybe base fellowship is coming again, and I want to think of a very creative idea that no one has think about, and I can't think about it. I can only think about the next Farcaster mini app, but I want to do something big. So, you know what I will do? I'll go learn to play piano,
yeah,
or I learned to sign up for like a trek or scuba diving, something completely opposite that I've never done. And when I come
yeah,
back, my creative juices will be insane. I've tried that myself as a social
yeah,
experiment, and it works. But this is like a
yeah. I
small
think
life hack.
on that,
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
Like
go
a
for it.
lot of good people have also, like Nawal says that he really good thinks when he starts walking. So that's
Yeah,
something which people can follow, right? Like always sort of have some activities going on for yourself. Build that creative muscle for you, because yeah, like you said, it is so, humbling even to follow such tech news, because there is something that is going to update, something that's going to be going big, going viral, and you can't keep up. So you need to also go back a little, step back, have some fun, do some new thing, build that creative muscle for you, like Ashwin said, and it will get you some ideas randomly, right? Like that's about, like, yeah.
Yeah, but those ideas wouldn't be very helpful if you don't share them with us. So go ahead and submit
Yeah.
your ideas. So next week we come back and Bhavya will share his thoughts around that, and we'll see you in that one.
Yes. Awesome. I think this was
Perfect.
really fun. Like Ashwin said, you're super excited to build this here and continue with this portfolio and get you featured, right? Like if your idea gets featured, you guys also get featured, you get the views here, and you can build something cool, right? So definitely do that. See you all next week, Monday, 7 to 8. And this is about it for today. Thank you, guys. Okay.